Well, hello there. Welcome once more to Kwankyewaa's Kitchen. And if this is your first time stopping by, I would like to say a very warm welcome to you. Yes, dearest friends and family, I'm finally sharing my Shito recipe with you. This is the authentic Kwankyewaa's Kitchen recipe. And if you've ever had my Shito, you will know that this is really the deal. I don't think I've ever bought Shito. Maybe for the one time that I did buy, and guess what? I bought my own product from the African market because I had none at home and I was not ready to make any. This is truly good and I'm very proud of this. I'm happy to be able to share it with you now, and I sincerely hope you try it. Kindly give me a thumbs up even before we proceed, and when you're done, please tell your friends and family about this recipe so they can try it also. Alright, let's make the famous Kwankyewaa's Kitchen Shito, shall we? So here I have my onions. These are like 15 large onions, extremely large ones. I have some ginger, garlic, chili powder. I also have some crushed chilies, rosemary, star anise, some black pepper, coriander seeds, bay leaves. I also have 4 Maggi shrimp tablets here. I already crushed it. Some smoked shrimp with the heads off, as well as some smoked herrings which have been cleaned. This is how large the onion is. I'm going to start by pouring a gallon of canola oil into my pot and let it warm up. So I'll be mixing my garlic and ginger onions as I blend. And when I'm making Shito, I make sure I do not add any water in blending my ingredients. If your blender is not powerful enough and you need some liquid to help blend, I would suggest you use some of your cooking oil to do that instead of water. That way your Shito is going to cook faster. If you don't know what Shito is, you'll probably be wondering what it is. It is a condiment, probably Ghana's most popular condiment. It is a sauce and it goes with pretty much anything spicy. If I were to describe it, I would just say you could compare it with Chinese chili oil. Very similar, only that we have some shrimp and herring in ours, and pretty much maybe the preparation is very different, but it is quite similar. And we put it on anything that we want to have a little bit of spice in it. Goes with our kenke, our wachi, pretty much anything, even bread. So I hope you try this recipe. Even if it's going to be your first time eating it, you will love it. Now I'm going to pour my blended ingredients in the oil. And we know this is going to be messy, so I'm going to partially cover so it doesn't splatter too much. Now let's blend our shrimp. So this is the consistency I look out for. Not too smooth. In modernity, you want to be able to bite into chunks of shrimp and herrings. And that is the shrimp. I'm going to do the same with the herrings. I'm using partly whole herrings, and typically when I make it for my Kwankyewaa's Kitchen Shito, I would normally get herring pieces. These are like whole herrings that are broken So it's a combination, and you have to make sure you get out the bone. So this is what I'm blending. I'm going to add my tomato paste. I'll add pretty much about a very big serving spoonful, which is about 3 cups of tomato paste. And I'm going to stir for this to get combined in here. I'm also going to put my bay leaf in here. You want that to go in early enough to infuse in there. So I always try not to put any water in the ingredients as I blend, and that helps for this to cook a lot faster. This is cooked almost all the way down. At this point, I'm going to add my chili powder. I'll add in my chili flakes, as well as the chili powder and my rosemary. I like the aroma that the rosemary brings to the shito. I'm also going to add some curry powder. This I forgot to show you with the other ingredients. And this is also some Maggi that I already made into powder. And that is about 4 cubes. For all that splatter, I keep it covered. So I have my anise. This is 4 teaspoons of that. 4 teaspoons coriander or cilantro seeds. Black pepper. 3-star anise as well. And I'm going to blend these in my spice mill. I almost forgot my calabash nutmeg. That is 15 of it. There's always going to be that one piece that never gets blended, so I always like to transfer it into a bowl and look through it first. I'm going to put my spices in here now. All that goodness, flavor, aroma. Gonna add some salt now. You really don't want the tomatoes to cook all the way before you add your salt, because then it's hard to judge. So this is about 3 teaspoons because the first 2 were heaped of salt. I'm always mindful of the fact that the smoked shrimp here, I don't know, I think they season before they smoke it, so it always has some salt on it. So you don't want to make it too salty in your stew before you add your shrimp to it. I'm going to pour my herring powder in here. See all those big pieces? When are your friend or if you dear? That's what all the family and friends look out for. I'm going to add the shrimp powder as well. Wow, so sharp. I dear way dear, be late. Shito takes lots and lots of oil. As soon as you put the fish in, it's like everything disappears. And that is when I would normally add my pre-used oil. Normally when I fry fish I save it, so I'm gonna put that in now. I'm going to add probably all of this in here. This is about half a gallon of oil that I've used to fry fish. Goodness. The star Shito recipe we one try out. No wala o wala. I really hope you try this, like seriously. Everybody waiting for the day they see some more Kwankyewaa kitchen Shito in the shop. Well, in the meantime, you can be making it at home. I know for sure you know this is just as you used to buy it, the same taste. We're going to need more oil, so I'm just going to pour it here. One thing about the oil in Shito is that it is actually what preserves the Shito. So once you start eating it, you can choose to pour the oil out and refrigerate the Shito and just eat it as it goes. I'm going to save this and see how it goes. If it needs it, I'm going to pour it in there. Gradually turning, changing color. It's getting cooked. The more cooked it gets, the darker it becomes. And you want this to get as dark as you possibly can. I don't really like mine to be black, but I want it to be well cooked so it has a longer shelf life. this simmer away for probably another hour, and it should be good. You want to stir this as frequently as you can because it settles and then the bottom starts to burn. It looks like there's always that hot spot in the pot that wants to burn. Like, trust me, I don't know, the part that the heat hits directly is always going to be the part that will give you trouble. I think our shito is done at this point, perfectly cooked. We can be assured that it's going to have a long shelf life. So now I'm just going to turn it off. Just look at that. You want to let this stay until it gets all the way cool, or like to room temperature, before you store it. So you could cover, but you don't want to cover it all the way through. If you have like a splatter guard or anything that vent, you could use that as well. I'm going to leave gap for it to vent, so this hole here and of course on this side, and let it cool all the way. Now it's time to bottle this shito. Here are my jars, which I have washed, so they are dry now, and you want to make sure there's no moisture in it because you want your shito to last. So now we're going to start. So this is all the way cool. I actually let it sit for 2 days just to be sure, no rush here. And now we're going to start. Just look at that. Perfectly cooked. And the oil comes on the top, which is going to happen the same way when you store it. I'm just going to mix it up because I like to thin it out, so when I put it in the jar, it can rise up. That way too, you eliminate bubbles in the jar. So I'm going to take one of my jars. I have this little funnel here, which makes it easy so you don't have a mess on the rim of your jar. And I'm just going to, since I still have some oil, I'll put a little bit on the bottom, and then I'll spoon my shito in here. Little bit of oil on the surface. And then you want to cover it. Oil on the bottom. Trust me, this helps to eliminate bubbles. And this is coming from the Shito lady, so take it.
I think you may be right.
Oh, seriously? Somebody, my first I want to was here.
No,
Then it's a quite bad them. Air pockets in the Shito. Just look at that. See that herring right there? That is how I like my shito. That is what I call potluck. You got lucky with every spoonful, so maybe spoon luck. This is my very last bottle, And you see it has a little bit of the shito on it, on the rim. You want to make sure that your jar is clean. So you want to wipe it clean so that it doesn't start to form mold as it sits. You really want to make sure that the top part, wherever there's no actual shito, is clean, because that is where the mold starts forming. Delicious, yeah, delicious, 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 delicious. Can you smell the aroma? Once the shito is done and it's very well cooked, it's going to have a shelf life of anywhere between 6 months and a whole year. So you store it and you eat as you go. I hope you try this, you won't regret. Thanks for watching. Kindly give me a thumbs up and share. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy.